What's this? Looks like a note of some sort. Look, something's written on it. You're right. Let's see. 67S 122. I bet it's upside down. There's a name printed on the paper above that. Oops, that's Emma. There's a name printed on the paper above that. Goodman. Maybe it fell out of his pocket when he was killed. Well, so what does it mean, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Note to self, for deductive reasoning, go to Edgeworth, not Wright. I'm sure Edgeworth wouldn't know what it means either. Victim's memo found in the car trunk. So well, how are we doing, Mr. Wright? I guess we've got some clues. We'll have an autopsy report, a note from the victim, and a cell phone. So you think we'll be okay? Well, the only thing still bothering me is that Lana is confessing to the crime. Just a moment. I can't flip it upside down in here yet. I bet that's a thing. She says she did it. No problem. I can guarantee she's not the criminal. By the way, Emma? Yes? I know that song your phone plays when it rings. What? It's the Steel Samurai theme, isn't it? That popular TV show for kids. The phone that rang earlier wasn't mine. It was yours. At 5:18, just after the murder took place. Your sister called you, didn't she, Emma? I'm sorry. Can you tell me what you talked about? She hung up right away. I see. Made a call to her sister Emma on 5:18, the day of the murder. A detective was murdered, and the suspect is the top prosecutor in the district. I've got a bad feeling about this. Maybe I don't know everything that went on here. God, that's annoying. Could have ended the fucking episode properly last time otherwise. Oh well. How'd the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there's still a lot of grey areas. I'd rather the whole thing is one big grey area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yeah? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defense is called a trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Skye, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there's one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there, so I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defence is ready, Your Honour. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honour. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me may say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not the hands of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office locked. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Ms. Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough-up queen. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a Fiesta Bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? And you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It's too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honour, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident in words. The prosecution will wait. I've not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honour, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I'm a professional. What exactly does that mean? Clear. Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Starr was a detective? Ah! I know who you are! Cough-up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honour. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot of the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. Block A for the prosecutor's office personnel, and Block B for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor spaces, yes? Oh, that was the judge, whatever. The crime took place by a car in the back of A block, the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honour.
Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honour. Immediately after that, I apprehended the Chief Prosecutor.
Does seem rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright?
I can't agree on principle, Your Honour. It seems some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honour. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, give them your worst, Miss Starr.
Wait, are they talking about me? Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence I saw the Chief Prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The Chief Prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bring a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright.
Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet the methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy.
The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted.
Given that they're used to erasing inconvenient evidence on their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I feel like I found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? Fired? To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I'm a pro, as you know. My testimony's unbiased and flawless.
Very well, you may continue, Miss Starr.
This boyfriend, the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend? You have several?
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in block A. Up on the second level so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I'm parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. Well, I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely tuned detective intuition at work. You sensed something? You're saying you had a premonition of the murder? Felt like, how would you say... Oh yeah, like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I have no idea what that means.
Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman a detective? Yeah, well, he was like a young cheese.
A young cheese?
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience of the streets, a greenhorn.
That must be hard-yellowed and sharp as a tack.
Yeah, with the odour of old cheese to match. In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. By garish car, you mean? Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth's?
Incidentally, the night in which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it?
Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, are you sure it was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness. In your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep the silly opinions to yourself in the future, Rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
I believe I heard that tagline elsewhere. Can you cry plagiarism? I feel I may be relegated to a lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
A photograph? You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunch boxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose it's more incisive than just hanging it around your neck.
Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now?
You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
That's unmistakably Lana Skye.
So what was the defendant doing at the time?
Wounded on her right hand. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It's your knife, after all.
Yes, that's about right.
Prosecutors are by nature well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it's easier than boiling an egg from the egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been the better metaphor.
So the defendant was holding a knife. What then?
Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise a knife to strike, no?
The defense has a point.
Unfortunately, by the time I realised what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes. The next moment, the chief prosecutor pulled down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. You can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starrett's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is that it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Oh, don't smile like that! And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with a knife. As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch.
I'm sure that is a fine lunch.
But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife?
Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection.
That'd have to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth.
Yet it was still stronger than your feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing.
Which is why it doesn't make any fucking sense why that's the solution. And how can you tell that? The blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stain on the chief prosecutor's coat? It's a black and white photograph.
Oh yeah, it's hard to tell, but that could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here.
No problem except you. Mr. Wright, are you really going to sit there and take that kind of abuse? Ugh, you got a better idea? That contradicts what the witness said in her testimony, namely that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it. If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. You don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold and calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know?
Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder, a serious offence.
Witness, add this to your testimony.
The murder was planned and the rubber gloves prove it. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves?
The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves, the kind used for autopsies.
In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do a murder. The only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime.
Ah! Impressive. I'm sorry I took you off the force, Miss Starr.
This is bad. She's got them thinking it was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show this wasn't premeditated. Yeah, move on. Right, which of these proves it wasn't fucking premeditated then? Prince. Nope. What the fuck disproves this? The autopsy report? No, fuck's sake. It's not the photo again, is it? No. No, not the phone. Knife? Oh, because it's Edgeworth's knife, isn't it? Oh, you fucking idiot. Ah. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell lunchboxes for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that went into the knife that was in Edgeworth's trunk.
Indeed, it is my knife.
What's with this case? Bloody murder weapon, a red car, all benign to the prosecutor there. Apparently the chief prosecutor of the district, right? I mean, are prosecutors bad people? Why is there a child there? The defence has a request. We ask the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated Lana Skye planned this murder. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would you not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, don't forget the weapon. Ow!
Order! Order!
Great, now the tide is turning in my favour. Good show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free.
Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie.
What?
I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking the tide had turned, not over such a trifling detail.
But this shoots in the whole premeditated theory.
Bah, the prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is the lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove, nothing else.
Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing...
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw and not what you thought.
How dare you! My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife into him again and again. Again and again.
The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I order a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill a delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
You're slipping, Miss Starr. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again, except he was only stabbed once. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise.
I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to loss of blood from one stab wound. Oh, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed?
Well, witness...
You got the crime scene set, right?
Thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood, but now I realise such mistakes are possible.
So you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted the knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw you thought was blood. Testify.
Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how gnarly the whole scene was. Okay. Oh, I meant to check it, but pretty sure the muffler's not there. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation.
The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect is not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you proved it yourself with this photograph.
But that can't be!
Only a professional lunch lady would be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails.
What was my objection? Chopped liver?
But it was there, a scarf, no, something red, really.
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony.
The most important part?
The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might be the moment of truth.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run up behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Oh yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile.
You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, the cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with the details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks.
Dr. Sheriff, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum?
Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly, a predator this one, a leopard woman. Wow!
Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you will.
So where's this partition on the floor plans?
I'm sure it means this wall next to the car.
That's right.
There was a wall there, about 6 feet high.
She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do.
And what did you do then?
I quickly caught her, explained her rights and arrested her on the spot. Okay.
You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect?
As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time.
Maybe I should press her for more details. I'd like to see this on the floor plan, just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor and bus parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Miss Starr?
Yes, that's right.
But there's a chain link fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
No, you didn't. Amazing! The cough-up queen, the lunch lady athlete indeed.
It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. She couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast.
The fence was about 9 feet high too. How did Miss Sky not get away? She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say?
If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony.
Bitch.
Anyway, all I heard of her was the word muffler.
Just the one word? So what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but someone else?
Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. She can't mean.
By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene?
Yes, ultimately.
Ultimately?
My memory is like a salmon heading upstream, you see.
No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. Why?
She has a cell phone! On the wall?
That's right, and in the car there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order.
So she used her cell phone? Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness.
Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
You should, of course, have listened to your testimony.
Oh, the things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. The word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. I think you could restate your
Aha! I was going to ask the same thing.
I only say this one more time, so listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim, ran behind the partition, picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. She pulled out her own cell phone from her pocket, and during that time,
you climbed over the chain link fence.
Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? She made to escape. Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pate of foie gras. Huh? She even kicked an oil drum at me.
An oil drum? There was an oil drum lying outside the scene of the crime. But it's strange.
Why is that?
If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way? The other... Oh! The parking lot entrance!
That's right! It doesn't make any sense that she wouldn't run behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent, more mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So Miss Sky tried to run. I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it, you have to believe me. Nope. Nope. There we go. I thought the floor plan made it impossible. Miss Starr, I have to conclude you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky.
The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias.
Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armour, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making a phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. The emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. Ah!
Order! What is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honour. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies.
That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you'll allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court.
Where she saw it. Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing, therefore it would be pointless for Miss Star to lie about it.
Pointless to lie, I see.
But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Star witnessed the crime from a different location.
A different location? Now there's a pointless lie if I ever heard one.
Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime?
All the testimonies we've heard until now point in one direction. The place from where Miss Star witnessed the crime was the security room. This is the only place where she could have been.
The security guard's room? Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone.
Not in this case, Your Honour. The witness not being part of the prosecutor's office can't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the phone and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony, you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr? How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think the tables could be turned. Today a man has gotten the better of Angel Starr.
Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why Miss Star lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything.
Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. The truth still stands.
Still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth.
What?
If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
So tell us her reason, Mr. Wright.
Huh? Me?
Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the guard station, but she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference, but what? What would change? Better save here since I'm having a one. Distance to the crime. It changed the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans is quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. Fuck. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Ah, there we go. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye?
Well, witness?
You... Yes? You are the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass wall station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. That's a lot of downtime where you're not seeing anything, though. That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking lot in B block.
That's quite a detour.
It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes? This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defence chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this?